Good morning. My name is Scott Ruther, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com.
And I'm Brittany Umar, and together we bring you Morning Call. We are seeing mixed markets around the world this morning. Europe is down small, digesting its bounce back, while Asia is mixed. The Nikkei is up about 1.2%, while the Shanghai is off slightly. So overall, looking overseas, Scott, pretty healthy action?
Yeah, I think a lot of the same, a lot of what we saw in 2014 before the Ukraine escalation hit. You talked about the Nikkei up 1.2%. We haven't put a chart up of this in a while, so let's put a chart up. You look here at the EWJ. Just remember, look at the size of this move that you saw in the Nikkei and the Japanese markets. That's a huge move. So although it's been choppy mayhem since, it's really been digesting a really sizable gain, and I think it was even lower there. So with that being said, you have a mid-level area right now to watch before getting back to prior highs. So if it trades, instead of waiting for it to break out, if you wanted some exposure to Japan, I think above 1170 it can get going. And as far as like the Shanghai, I hate to say it, but it's a lot of the same here too, where you had to move off the lows. It's trying to digest. It's holding in there. You do have a lower level here too. China, I think, is going to take time to work through its credit mess and a little bit of its deleveraging in property. But if this were to get above 36-ish, you could see a trade back up into the moving averages. I think with this, maybe you just want to do like a year or two accumulation process, and then at some point on the weekly chart, I do think China could come back into play big time, but it might be something that is more of a macro strategy, and that's going to be above 40. The overseas markets are not really the place to be. The place to be has really been in our own backyard.
Right. Our own markets that have been continuing to shake off Ukraine and Russia tensions. I mean, our futures are up small this morning, digesting what's been sizable moves as well.
And it feels like that was just a big opportunity. When it happens, it's hard to see it as a huge opportunity because on Monday we were down 20 handles, and you didn't know if we were going to be down 40 handles or if we were going to be down 13 handles. What happened was we were actually down only 13 handles after that day. And if you look at the chart of the SPX, you will see that this is what happened when we started the year. This accelerated trend shook up the consensus because everyone thought, including me, we would just break out to the upside, and we did, and we went lower. Then we held the 150-day and had a feisty move, a potent move, showing some strength by the bulls. And then if you take a close look at what took place on Monday, all we did here is break through the 8-day, hold above the 21-day, and close well off the lows. And with that being said, you had a lot of strong stocks go from red to green, and then this was your move yesterday. So this is your prior high, so use that as pivot support, 1867. And then you have yesterday's pivot resistance, which is 1876, so a move above that, and you actually could see some continuation. I'm hoping for a little digestion, and I'm going to start looking for some individual names again that could provide some alpha.
Well, will you be looking to the banks, perhaps, because the banks did wake up yesterday. Finally, we got some good action there. They helped to fuel the move. Bank of America, for example, broke out and closed on highs, so perhaps we'll get some upside continuation there today.
A little follow-through is always good for a trader, and that's what I would like to see in some of these banks.
Right.
Real quickly, before Bank of America, you look at the XLF, you will see it broke above a mid-level consolidation, closing strong near those highs. And like you said with Bank of America, I know it's been long, tedious, monotonous. Do you have another word for one of those?
That works.
That works.
I'm not good with my morning synonyms.
That's right. I use like 3 of them. I'm not leaving you much left.
Exactly.
So you look at the chart here. It's had such a big move, and you look at this trend. It just goes. And I know a lot of individuals, including me, would have liked this to happen sooner. But now it seems like it's breaking this descending channel here, and hopefully could take us back to highs. You take a close look here, and you will see yesterday you had a clean move. It's now above all the moving averages. Maybe the first stop is 17, and we all know how on option expiration they like big round numbers. So from here to there, that could be your little follow through. And then through some time, I truly believe that this is not the high of 2014. I think we see closer to 19 to 21.
All right. What about Morgan Stanley? This one's continuing to inch higher.
Yeah, this one, I haven't really had much success with Morgan, but after last quarter's earnings where they actually did well, but they sold it, I'm like, I want to find their way in. And if you look here at Morgan Stanley, you see that it did break above this lower level pivot. So I did buy some yesterday, and it'd be nice to see this continue. This is not a leader in the banks, but it does feel as if from 31 to 32 could be the path of least resistance before it has to contend with that. And then you have the highs here over at 33. And if you go quickly to the weekly chart of Morgan, you will see, what could you see from the weekly chart? There's a big level here. It hasn't been above this level in a long time, but it does feel that at some point this year it could test it and perhaps even take it out.
And Goldman Sachs gapped up and managed to log in a 2.4% gain. What would you say are the levels this one needs to hold?
This is kind of the same looking chart as Goldman, so it depends on your preference on if you like to trade more expensive names or like higher price names, more capital intensive, or with that's Goldman, and Morgan would be the opposite. So you look here and it's not leading. Okay, we tried to play Goldman for this breakout here to start the year, and it broke out and failed. But overall, it did hold in decent. It held above the 200-day. Now it's perking up just like Morgan. So I feel like this too can continue. If it trades above yesterday's high of 168.75, you have one more moving average for it to reclaim, which is right around here, which doesn't give it that much room. And then you have where it sort of broke down from. So this is a laggard bank right now, but there is some room there, and maybe it starts to get better and can take out those highs. But it is a laggard, unfortunately. So is Morgan.
Can Wells Fargo continue, though? Because we have Wells Fargo actually already back at highs.
Yes, and this is the difference. This one is above moving averages. This has been high quality, one of Warren Buffett's favorites, and this is back at highs. So it's made it easier for investors who have been playing the relative strength. And it's not, it doesn't have clean trading type moves, but it just seems as every time I'm like the banks are going to rally, I look over at Wells Fargo, and it's one of the first back at highs. And you look here at Wells Fargo, here is those highs. Stock is continuing to trend, and it's right back there. So perhaps it takes out this 46.83-ish area, and if it does, maybe that gives some conviction and confidence that some other names could come back and take out highs. So this being the first one making some headlines could add some attention to the sector.
How about JP Morgan? Not one of the leaders in the bank rally, but is there a play here?
Yeah, I think that for some reason this always plays a little catch up too. They were the ones in the news. I used to always go to JP Morgan first, but after that whole big government shakedown of billions every other day, I just didn't want to deal with the headlines. So I'm like, let me go somewhere else. But I might look here today, especially if it's not up. You look at the chart here. It's sort of tight. You could draw a little bit of a wedge right here. If I might be reaching, but a little bit of a wedge. And you also have a 3-day resistance area. So if JP Morgan were to get above 57.45, perhaps that opens it up for a move to retest this prior high, and then here is the 2014 high. So this is something worth putting on the radar and maybe even nibbling for a trade today if the banks want to continue.
All right, well, coming up, we're going to go in the trenches with some solar stocks that continue to provide opportunity. But first, a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
I'm Mark Sperling, Director of Trading with T3 Trading Group and contributor to T3 Live. Do you trade on your own, but you wish you enjoyed the benefits of a large trading floor? With the T3 Live virtual trading floor, we deliver that experience to you on your computer. On the VTF, you can follow the long and short positions of experienced professional traders like myself, Scott Redler, and others, and listen to our live radio stations as we navigate the markets. In addition, you get the added value of a large community of sophisticated and like-minded traders. In my opinion, joining the room will be the best trading decision you will ever make. I would like to invite you to begin your membership with a 7-day free trial. To get started, visit t3live.com and click on the Virtual Trading Floor tab. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the VTF.
We're back and going in the trenches with solar stocks that continue to be on our radar and provide opportunity. This morning, CSIQ down about 6% almost after earnings came in a little bit light. So we'll have to see if maybe this potentially could pressure the group today.
It feels like a lot of them will start lower, but we've seen this before where some companies come out and don't meet earnings in solar land because it's almost like they're a future play. But this one was at highs, so we need to figure that out. You look at CSIQ, it's been a leader. It was right near these highs, looking for, I guess, a good number to break out, so you have a weaker one. So this prior area right here was about 40, 66, or 41, which is where it is right now. If this were to come in and hold 41 or 40-ish, I think that they can give it a pass, and then within a few sessions, it might be right back at those highs. So let's see if they buy the down open or they pressure it into a gap and go to the downside. So that'll give us some clues for the group.
Now, First Solar has started to look better back above its 8 and 21 day, and this is one of the cases, right, where earnings came in light, but it shook it off.
Right, and we talked about that, I think, a week ago, where I'm like, what's going to happen here? Are they going to open it lower and leave a huge hole in the chart, technically making it a void, or will they snatch it up? And they did. Look at First Solar, look at the chart. Here was your descending channel, broke above. This was earnings. You didn't know what was going to happen here, if they would give it a pass, and it opened into support, closed well off it, then the next day filled the gap. Now it's been going sideways, so if CSIQ's damage is isolated to itself and it does the same type of thing, these type of names could continue. So your pivot here for First Solar is close to about 59, so this is something to keep on the radar for a trade.
Well, as you said, if the CSIQ pressure is isolated, wondering how SPWR will do today after logging in that nice gain yesterday of about 9%.
Yeah, this one at this point is showing leadership. It's trying to break out. So if this is off a little bit because of CSIQ, I almost think that could be a gift. And I'll look there. Okay. You look here at the chart. It's just starting to break out, and you had your 2-day move. So I think if it is somewhere around 35-ish and it holds 35, 35, 40, I feel like you can nibble on some, and then if it does go green today and takes out yesterday's high of 36.19, you could really have nice continuation. If you look at the this overall chart here, and you look at this just phase that it was in between 28 and 34, that's 6 points. A channel, that's the word I was looking for. You should get a move to around 40, 41.
All right, well, how about Elon Musk named SolarCity? This one's been basing above its 8-day. Do you expect it to potentially see higher prices soon?
This one's lucky that it has Elon Musk behind it, because I've never seen a company twice delay its earnings and not fall apart. So if you look at the chart here, you will see that it held above 80 this entire time, consolidating, building another nice pattern. I'm hoping when it comes out, and if it's good, we have a chance, because a trade through this 85 to 88 could give that move to north of 100 that I do think people would like. It just has to come out with its earnings and be somewhat good. But for this one, they're also looking at the future, so they're not so worried about prior earnings reports, and this stock does have a big future with Musk behind them.
All right, let's do some quick hits here and check in on Apple really quickly, which has been pretty slow as of late. What do you think of the composure?
I think it's slow, and it could trade a little bit better if it can get through this price point. If you look right here at the chart, I'll just throw it out there. You have 533-ish, a move through 533. Then perhaps it tests this descending channel here, which comes in closer to 537. And if they ever come out with a buyback or some kind of invitation for a wearable or something more descriptive of what's going on with the car, maybe it even takes out this descending channel, closes above it, because last time it tried, it failed.
All right, well, back to another Elon Musk name. How about Tesla? Had that nice move, now digesting overall healthy action, I would assume.
Yes, 2 days ago, Mark caught it well. Unfortunately, I wasn't in my seat. It held the 8-day, went green, gave you a red dog reversal above this 242, and now it's digesting here. The longer it holds above 252, I think the higher the probability we get a nice juicy trade above 260 to 265 for a move that could take it maybe towards a 3-digit.
Oh, and let's revisit Blackberry. How do you think that pattern is playing out?
Yesterday I was a little disappointed. I would have liked it to act a little better, but the pattern's still building. You look here at Blackberry and you will see that overall, this is what I drew yesterday, you had a really nice move back to resistance that it just wasn't ready to take out. Pulled in, gave you a nice trade on Monday. Tuesday, again, couldn't break out, and now today it's sort of flat. So I drew this line in the recap yesterday. I'd like to see it not go back to here, and this time at least stay above 1013 to 1020, build a upper level channel. So if you want to compartmentalize it, here is this new channel right here. So if we could stay in the upper end for a little bit, maybe we get a nice juicy breakout above this 1090 for a move to where I think this stock could go this year, and I think that's closer to $13 to $15.
How about the car makers? Some of these names are lagging, like Ford and GM. Do you see any lower level plays developing here?
I see one in both. So I did buy a little Ford yesterday. Maybe if it acts well today, I'll add to it. You look at Ford. Here you go. Nice sideways consolidation in this area. If people need to put some money to work, maybe they'll think they can make, they could roll a little bit with Ford here and above 1545. It's going to have to take back these moving averages and need some force, but they had some news today that they are expanding their R&D into China. Maybe people will like that. And it seems like if it does take back that area, your next resistance comes in around 1645. GM is actually acting a little bit better. It's already poking its nose above this area. And if you want to do both, do both. If you want to just choose this one, the next spot here is 3787, which would be some decent resistance.
And how about GOGO? Closed the day up yesterday about 5%. What do you think about GOGO today?
It's trying to turn the corner. This was a new issue. It was in Fuego for a while, and then like some stocks, they go through a corrective phase, and let's see if it's over. You look at the chart here, you'll see that stock, had a huge gap, went as high as 36, and from there it's been in this descending channel. It stopped actually going down. It's been going sideways, and it poked its head up yesterday. I would say, above this area, what was this, 22, 25? It could see at least a move back to 26 and maybe even go higher than that. I like it. And lastly, I don't have it on the list, but I want to show Amazon. Amazon, I believe, was upgraded by Piper today, coming into some resistance. I think if this could trade and get north of 365, it could then test that earnings area, which comes in around 375. So keep this on the radar for some type of nice actionable play today.
All right, so overall, we do look to be digesting. I assume you'd like to see that continue the rest of the day. What would we be focusing on?
Well, usually after a day like yesterday, big, enormous gains, you do a little probing, a little upside, little downside, but you stay inside and digest. And when that happens, you get to see what stocks are acting better, where the action is, and that's what we like to do. We like to find the action, and we've had a lot of it, and it should continue. So if the market hangs in there, now's the time to go after some tactical, technical plays, which we isolated here, that hopefully people could jump on.
All right, and with that said, that's your morning call for this Wednesday. Happy trading. Have a great day.